Hello there guys, guess what time it is? It's time for a review of some Lego. And this time I've got myself a Lego Creator Kit. Number 31053, some sort of treehouse type thing. As you can probably guess from the look of the box, there is absolutely nothing on it to give it its name, but of course if you look up the reference number there probably will be something somewhere, but nothing immediately obvious on the box itself to say what it is name wise. As you can see, if we just do the usual scan around, various stuff in different languages, the usual recycling logos and onion badge and Lego bit and repeated pictures and whatnot and barcodes, and just taking a quick look at it as the contents settles as I knock it around like that. It looks quite picturesque, it looks quite idyllic. You've got what looks like a telescope of some sort, a flag, a barbecue set by the looks of it, somebody busy painting some wood, bird flying around. There's all kinds of stuff, and it's not just one, there's three, and you can see all three of them. It's quite tempting to go and get all three, isn't it? Just so you can have all three models at the same time. And it looks like there's variations in character builds. You could have one man with a hat on, one man without a hat, and another man without a hat. Or you could alternatively just switch his hair around with the girl's hair and give her a short tomboy hairstyle. Or something like that. It's all equal opportunities. Right, how many bags do you think this is going to be? I've got a feeling it's probably just going to be a standard 3-bag job. Maybe a 4-bag job, but I'd put money on a 3-bag job. Let's see what we've got. One little bag there, one bigger bag there, one smaller bag there, 2 smaller bags there, 3 smaller bags in total there. 1 large, 3 small, and everything's packed up nicely in that. Right, nothing else there. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to build these one at a time, aren't I? Well, I guess I'll see you when I see you then. Jump cut in 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Okay, it's probably taken me the better part of about half an hour to sort out all the parts into various different piles and build this and put these 2 kids together. And they are basically little kids. It's the non-movable legs that you have here that, just sort of fit in place with adult torso bodies. There's only one face per person, per kid. This is the little girl. Autofocus, come on, be good to me for once. There we go. You can see she's got freckles and a smile, but no second face. She's also got a little hoodie on the back there, so yeah, standard little hoodie. Kind of makes me think of One Shot Girl. Just has that kind of same look to her. Again, the little kid, the little boy, orange is his thing. Autofocus, come on. There we go. And again, the little legs that just don't move, hoodie on the back, and no second face. Freckles, big smile. Yeah, we can sort of compare them side by side and sort of say, yeah, there could be brothers and sisters. Could be, might be, probably are brothers and sisters, or the more of them. I quite like, I'll just put these to one side, I quite like the overall look of this. This is quite a relatively simple build. I've never seen, or at least I don't recall seeing this particular part before, but this is just basically one single piece that, when combined with this bit here and this little one round bit, becomes a lamp. I suppose you could also put it, have I actually done it the wrong way around? Could you do it this way? No, you couldn't. No, you just sort of do it as I have put it together, like so, and it then can sort of go anywhere, but it's not really secure. It's got a nice big wide base like that, but unfortunately, no, you can't actually secure it down. Now the actual treehouse itself, multiple sections to it. You're sort of building part of one wall and then part of the next wall and then part of the next wall and then so on and so forth. You've got this little door here, and then everything is sort of open and exposed around here. It's quite a nice look overall. You just can't really get into it unless you take the roof off. And this little banister railing type thing is made into a ladder, and this is just on a couple of little joints like this, so it can sort of come out a bit like so. It can be put up like that for a bit more rest. And you've got this lovely little lounger here, this lovely little sun lounger, and then you've got these little climbing bits up here which basically look like metal bits that have been riveted into the tree trunk, and then this little viewing platform on the top. We've got a standard telescope with a sort of extension lens bit on here. Quite a nice little bit. It's just, you kind of expect, given how easy this is to open, you kind of get the feeling that they could, with some modification, maybe make this whole thing open up so that you have a bit more play value with it. I mean, it's quite common with the Lego city designs, for example, for the buildings to have a front section that can then open up to reveal the inside. So you've got the front and the back, so you have the whole thing as one complete piece, and you can play around with it like that, display it like that, or open the whole thing up and have a whole range of possibility. And would have been easy enough to have done something like that. Somebody who likes modifying the Lego kits probably could come up with something like that quite easily as well, which might just be a challenge to take up. Instruction manual, it's pretty much the same in all cases. It's the same. There's one per design. The actual designs themselves are very clear as always. Gives you some ideas. Oh, I didn't actually read the last instructions here. You can actually make a communications device, the old can with wire, because you've actually got those bits around here. I was thinking that this was something else altogether. This is why you should always read the way through everything. But yeah, so you can have the two kids talking to each other, one on the top, one on the bottom, by having the old can and wire technique. Or they could just shout at each other, like anybody else would do if they're that far apart. Alright, let's dismantle this and get on with building the next one. Jump cut in 3, 2, 1. So we're back with build number 2. This time it's more of a treehouse design. Well, they're all treehouse designs to some degree, but in this case it's much more of a treehouse than the other one. Interesting design pattern with the leaves, the branches and whatnot here. It's all basically the same thing, and on the my one complaint here would be that when it comes to actually building these, it gets you to do it in pairs of 2, and they're all identical. So it gets you to make two sets, two of them, and put them on, and then you build something else, and then later on it tells you to do exactly the same thing. So why not just tell you, in the first case, just make 4 of them and be done with it. Overall, it's quite a nice looking little piece. It's got the feel of a big solid tree trunk that's been modified heavily to allow for what it's supposed to be used for. I'll get my words out right one day. And the actual build does look quite nice overall. I love this little bit of the little bird on the top there, just peeking out on top of the tree. Nice little flag and whatnot. And you'll have noticed that this ladder sort of swings around. It's got a little bit of functionality. We'll just move you out of the way, my dear, because what you do for privacy, you just lift it up like that and it becomes a railing. Okay, climb up and down, railing. And you've got a little storage shelf and whatnot. I didn't really go into that much detail, but you've got on the last build, but you've got a little storage shelf in there, just like you did on the first model as well. You've also got a little lantern here, and this little bucket of water that you just pull up whenever you want to. Nothing to show a fireplace or anything to let them heat the water up, but because it's an adventure in this case, she's got the map in hand, whereas before it was on a wall that you couldn't really see, and he's now converted the telescope to a torch or flashlight, whatever you might prefer to call it. And you've got this little hidden compartment here. Yeah, I can't really get the light in there properly, but believe you me, there's nothing actually in there of any actual interest. But overall, between these 2 builds that I've made so far, I am definitely liking this quite a lot. There is quite a lot of spare bits, and that's only some of them. And there's not much else to say about the instructions. You just get this mobile ad thing, challenge your building skills with the new creator app, and that's about it. You've got the options of adding extra flowers, because you do. Well, I think overall I better get on and build the third one. How long did this one take me? I think about 25 minutes, considering I was demolishing to a certain degree, but not necessarily taking everything apart. Oh yes, one other thing, you can sort of take that off quite easily because it's only got certain spelks in place. Pegs. It's only got certain pegs in place, so it, lifts on and off quite easily, so you can manoeuvre things around. Not quite so sure about the rest of it. Oh, I'll just move that off like so. Yeah, you can sort of take it off, but it's not really meant to go like that. But a few interesting little bits of building techniques there. I mean, you could actually take that off and just put that to one side and leave it as a little hut in its own right. There's a thought. Or a little shelter from the wind or something, or maybe even some sort of bird watching nest. Well, there's a thought. Right, I'll jump cut. And I'll go build a third one in 3, 2, 1. And we're back again, and this had to be the most complicated of the builds. It's also probably the best looking and arguably my favourite. One thing I will mention though, that I really wish that as far as the instruction manuals were concerned, that they'd actually put some obvious numbering system on these ones. A number 1, a number 2, a number 3 in the top right hand corner, just so you know which one was actually the first one you should read. The reason being is that this particular manual, unlike the other two, first of all, this was at the bottom of the pile, but unlike the others, it actually gave you these clear instructions as to which was considered to be, well, which build. You've got the quick build, which was the one I built second. You've got the medium build, which is what I built first. And then you've got the advanced build, which is what I've just built before you. And of course, the young fella what's it, checking through all his Lego that he's just opened up. But this is basically the more complicated of them all for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'll just show you, that is all the spare Lego that is unused in this set. I've actually made use of some of the spare bits to spruce things up a bit, but you'll see what that was later, I suppose, if you pay good attention and if I remember to point it out. I don't quite know what this is supposed to be. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be some sort of wheelbarrow type trolley type thing, but doesn't really work in that regard, because if you leave it like that, everything's going to fall out, and if you try to put it down like that, let's actually put it in frame so that you can see. That'll be handy. Yeah, if you leave it like that, everything will fall out that way. If you try to leave it like that, everything falls out that way, and you can't balance it any other way, so it's a bit useless. But in some regards, it kind of makes me think of the Starship Enterprise. Can't possibly think why. And then there's this thing, I'm guessing it's supposed to be some sort of fire extinguisher or something, but I'm just not sure. The instructions basically say that it should be left around about here. Can't really see why. I mean, is it supposed to be collecting water or something? As you can probably guess, it's supposed to open up like so you have an alternative look to it like this. There's lots of little trees, leaves and whatnot all over the place. It looks quite nice. You've got a little observatory bit on the top, got a little bird standing up here. You've got this section here which just opens up like this so you can actually see inside what's going on. You've got this nice little lantern here. You've got what looks like a hot stove. I've put two little mini pizza type things down here. Let's just see if you can get the light and whatnot and the autofocus to work. Come on, any second now, Mr. Autofocus. Maybe just about. I can't really tell on this tiny little screen, but I think it's in focus, kind of, sort of, maybe. But you've also got the map of the area, which will probably get ruined altogether by the fact that it's actually, on some sort of hot plate. What else have we got? Well, we've got the walkway across to this section. We've got a sun lounger. We've got a flag. Yeah. If we spin it around this way, then you can also see that there's a ladder for them to get up to the top of the observatory. Oops, I managed to break it. Out of all the tests I've done on this so far, that's the first time it's actually broke on me, and it had been standing up so nicely. What's going on there? What's caused that to break? Who knows? Yeah. But you can see how the mechanism works. You've got this little bit of tree branch here, which hits across this little trigger, which otherwise keeps it nice and strong most of the time, and so on. Occasionally it has a little problem connecting properly, and that flag does sometimes get in the way. Okay, and trying to put it back on can be a bit of a pain, but c'est la vie. Not much to look at from the back here. It's just for presentation points. It's a bit bland, but you can see all the workings and whatnot. And you can see that the river runs quite nicely all the way, so you've got the bridge over somewhere. So in general, I mean, in either form that it's supposed to be, it does look quite nice. Let's just close that up. You've also got this little hidden area here, which they're recommending that you leave this little sledgehammer type bit and the boy's hat in there. And there's space for it. There's not enough space for a minifig or anything to actually fit inside there, but c'est la vie. You also got another little lantern here, and you've got this little mechanism where they're just sort of letting the girl paint things. You're supposed to actually have one of these, but I decided, what the hell, let's have her be almost done, then she can go off and have some of those delicious hot cake pizza type things, and wonder what the hell this thing is. These are great little pieces here. I really do like what they've came up with. I've modified them a little bit to have a bit more decoration on, just to make them look a little more greener, a little more green, you know, a little more greenery there, just to, you know, help sell the idea. You know, that they're actually leaves. Oh, hang on, yeah, I know what's going on there. If you have this actually there all the time, it sort of interferes with the mechanism a bit, unless you've actually got it to one side, like so. That seems to work better. Yeah, that seems to work better. But if you have it where it's supposed to be, i.e. there, then sometimes it does actually work. Oh well, c'est la vie, there we go. Right, so this particular creator set, quite a nice little piece. This was by far the most complicated of the lot. You can see the little draw range finder mechanism here on this telescope. Oops, that should be up here. Out of all the sets, this actually had the most use for these little gun nozzle type bits. You know, only one spare. Can't remember what I used this on. Oh well, because there were two of these. And there's plenty of these little spare bits, which you could easily turn into, say, more stepping stones or more rocks going across the waterway or whatnot. I really do like the way that they've made use of both transparent bits and blue bits and grey bits and whatnot to make it look like rocky formations and whatnot. That's looking quite nice, and especially since it all goes together in all methods. It kind of looks like something that's a bit dammed up there and just flowing through, and then when you do it this way, whoops, watch out, girl overboard. When you do it this way, you can sort of still see the effect, maybe not quite as nicely, but it still works quite well. Tell you what, you can go in here and have something to eat. Yeah, the bucket of water becomes the paint bucket, so yeah, that's quite nice. Quite a nice little set, lots of little challenges to go with, nice little mechanism there. Plenty of things that if you are wanting to learn from Lego, you can actually use to, you know, help with your own construction projects. Well, I'm going to wrap things up there. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, blah, 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 and all of that. See you next time.